Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the first Hug Sydney event. Thank you all for making it. It's a tremendous vibe and energy in the room, which is what we like to see, especially on an evening, and especially as I was at breakfast this morning at 6 a.m. So I'm still alive and still going, so looking for a lot of energy tonight. My name's Tony Eaton, I'm Director of Brand Manager, Director of Brand Strategy as well, Brand Manager out at Norwest Business Park, which is just up the road from here. So we've got a great presentation for you. Hashtag Hug Sydney, as we're all very social minded. Please feel free to, instead of like they normally say, turn off your mobile phones, put them away, keep your mobile phones on, keep tweeting. So to start with, our first speaker is Stacey from Timco, which is the inbound marketing company, which we shortened down to Timco, and Stacey's cards are there if you see our new branding that we're kind of launching today as well, which is exciting. The inbound marketing company was founded by Stacey in 2009, and when she was living in the US. And today is honoured to be leading the Hug Sydney Group. The inbound marketing company's mission is to help companies grow by building their brand and reputation with valuable and relevant content marketing. Please welcome Stacey Chalmers.
My plan for the Hug Sydney Group is for it to be a lot like a community. I really want people to see this as a collaborative growth for all the marketers that are a part of this group. So whether you're a marketer for another company or an agency, that this is something that we can all come together and help each other with. So I really encourage all your input, suggestions, ideas on how we can actually make this work for everyone in Sydney and maybe Australia.
So our next speaker is David Mackey, who's going to be looking at HubSpot from a customer's perspective and sharing some of his insights into that. David runs this wonderful place where we are today, so we thank David for allowing us into his boardroom and squeezing us all in today, because I think there's normally only 20 or 30 that we get in here, but we've got 50 tonight, so we're all nice and cosy and warm. So thank you to David for that. Please welcome David Mackey.
Thanks, Tony. 4 slides I think I've got. What I'm going to do is look at HubSpot from a user's perspective. And I think HubSpot and the whole marketing automation segment is really interesting. When we get a lead that appears in our CRM, I get alerts on email, I get alerts on my dashboard, and the first thing I do, and in those alerts is a link. That link goes to the contact profile on HubSpot, and I'll get certain information in the lead alert, who they are, where they're from, what they might be interested in. The first thing I'm doing is clicking on that link before I talk to that prospect, because in that link is absolute gold, and I call it digital body language. If I know a prospect and their journey through my online environment from the very first day, what they've looked at, how often they've looked at that same page, where they went after that, what white papers they downloaded, what emails they consumed, what blog articles they saw, I can work out pretty quickly for myself whereabouts in the buying process that person is. We're using lead scoring in HubSpot, so we're already applying a score to that lead and trying to work out, are they top, middle or bottom of funnel. My conversation with someone who's at the top of the funnel is very different to someone who's at the bottom of the funnel. So top is about researching, middle is about looking at what solutions might suit me, the bottom is about choosing a vendor evaluation.
So our next speaker is Chris Fell from G2M. He's going to be talking to us today about the changing CV of the CMO, an Australian perspective. Please welcome Chris Fell.
We all know that the way in which we access information has radically shifted. So there's shift to mobility and being able to access, to speak to anybody at any time, using any device at any time of the day or night. Not necessarily something you would wish to have in your life sometimes, but it is a fact of life now. So these empowered buyers can now get access to this information whenever they like. Buyers are getting extremely good at blocking all of your content that you're trying to send to them. They need to want to be able to receive it, and there's any number of ways people can block that information. So our job as marketers is, how the hell do we break through and actually get them to open an email when they're getting 300 emails a day? Why are they going to open yours?
So Next up, we have G2 and Sam from HubSpot who'll be sharing the plans for HubSpot right here in Australia and some exciting things that are happening. G2 is a managing director at HubSpot, a marketing software company where he is responsible for driving HubSpot's growth in Europe, Latin America and Asia Pacific. Since 2011, Sam Schoolman has worked as an inbound marketing specialist both in HubSpot's Cambridge HQ and the new Dublin office. Please welcome from Boston and Dublin, G2 and Sam.
As you guys know, we've been selling into Australia and New Zealand for probably about 18 months now. Sam sells into the Sydney market from Cambridge, Massachusetts. He shows up at 4 p.m., ends his day at 3 a.m. So we're sort of like been dipping our toes in the Australian market for the last 18 months, and fairly pleased that Sam is still standing up doing the graveyard shift. So thank you, Sam. So we've sort of like dipped our toes in for the last 18 to 24 months. Excited to announce today that we're opening a local Sydney operation in the next 3 months. We're actually going to have a physical office over here in Sydney sometime in the month of July. We'll staff it with about 6 employees. We're actively interviewing right now, so if you know any great sales talent, please let us know. So in the last 24 hours, we have interviewed about 6 candidates. We're going to talk to maybe 10 more in the next 2 to 3 days, and have a group of 6 of them fly to Boston in a couple of months, spend a couple of weeks with us in Boston, and then come back over here in Sydney and launch the Sydney operation in July. So super excited to be over here on the ground in a couple of months.
There's a huge movement throughout Australia and I'd say APAC as a whole to move marketing from an art to a science, and I think a lot more marketers are being held accountable for how many MQLs, how much sales are being created from campaigns. So everyone that I talk to are just so interested in how can I align my different programs and really understand the ROI better, and all the while integrate things a little bit more. I'm finding so many people using tons of different point solutions which are out there for landing pages, for SEO, for social media, and there's just a lot of excitement and interest in how can I be more efficient with this, how can I save time and potentially budget as well. So that's been fantastic. I think from a personality perspective, I've really enjoyed working with Aussies, and I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to do that even more. And Aussies, sorry.
Yes, G2.